Hey, how's it going? I'm Launders, and today we're going to be doing a demo review of my team, this Soar Gaming, versus Golly Deluxe, who beat us and are the second team to beat us this season. The first team to beat us with the 5 that we've decided to keep playing with. So with this 5, we played about 5 matches, or 6 matches now with this game. Won 5 of them and lost, which was our second game on cash. It's probably the best team that we played all season. We lost in a pretty convincing fashion. Like it wasn't really a game that we could be proud of. So I thought it'd be really good if we watched the demo review. Cache is a map that we had some success on. We won our first map on it. We felt confident coming out of that map, and we've talked a lot about it, how we want to approach mid control. We've played a lot of pretty good teams on it. We played a couple of P teams on it. Had some good success there, and I think we do end up we get this pistol, but we get ecoed right after. So we can watch how it plays out. Yeah, they throw a bad CT smoke, and honestly, like that is kind of this game. Like I feel like we did get a little bit pugged on, and it's not to say that the other team played badly, but you know, apart from getting outshot, since we knew what they were doing, a lot of the time we still failed quite often on CT side. Part of it was. Part of it was like getting outshot. Part of it was getting, I don't know, having bad communication, getting flustered on CT side. This is kind of rough. One thing about the setup here is that I get destroyed. I got a FAMA specifically because when teams rush A on ecos on cache, it's really easy to get out into the site. So if no one stops them coming out of the A main entrance or through a good pop flash, then I feel like it's better to instead of playing someone on the site to play outside and play retake. But I think because we thought it might be A, we simply grouped a bit. I think Sack might, or no, I'm here. Okay. Oh yeah, Grim got killed at B right away. So that controls our rotations a little bit. We don't have an extra man to move over to the site. We have someone spotting, but they still have a big advantage here. And since they armored up, that means that they can do a lot with their time. I throw the smoke out, so I know it's coming, but once I spot them, I just fall off. And I run out of bullets. Decker kills us both on the site with a stack 9. And I think that's part of the reason is like that, because they could get up close and have 2 different angles to come at us in. If we don't kill the first guy quickly enough, then that pistol is extremely strong. So I think in the future, give up the site from truck, do a molly for the default plant, delay the plant, kill people as they're moving around, come up bomb wall, try to shoot someone on default who expects to be able to cross, and then just trust ourselves to retake. But I think staying on the site was kind of a disadvantage, and we relied on getting that first kill really quickly, which for whatever reason didn't come out. I mean, I couldn't even tell by watching that back again. It looked exactly as I remember it, where just like, I don't know, Daka came up top, headshot at Zach, and then was really close to me and killed me. So I feel like we didn't have much of a chance, as much as, no, even though we had better weapons. I feel like once the pistols are that up close, you almost lose that advantage completely. And maybe you can give that advantage to weapons like the Tech 9 that can one-shot you from close range, whereas like a P90 can't, and a FAMAS can't, even though they cost, you know, 2,300 bucks. But losing that round is, you know, really annoying. It does fuck us up quite a bit. So I think we get ecoed, and then one more round of us full saving, and that's, you know, that's the cost of getting ecoed. Winning a pistol is only good if you win the round after. If you don't win the pistol, I mean, if you don't win the second round, you get ecoed. The turnover is a double save on top of the round that they won. So, you know, starting out 1 to 3 is really bad. It's also really bad for your morale. You know, coming out of a pistol win in a match is huge. So giving up a second round is just really bad, especially when it was like that convincing. So I know I expected a lot of mid control here. Now, since we're low buy, I called that, well, what we talked about was that we would basically push. If we had low money, we would just either need to give up mid completely or spot it lightly and try to push another part of the map in some way, so that we can get a man advantage, since we don't have a nade advantage, which is huge for them, right? If they can keep us blind the whole round, and we can't smoke things off, then they can trade really, really easily. Zach does a really good job here. Actually hangs out on Squeak, gets himself an off, gets 2 kills. This is already a big round. This is one that we can't lose. And I told Zach not to move, and he could just go back into Squeaky. Poyo is boosted on the side. We got the trade, and now it's 2v5. 2v5. We don't lose this round, do we? Alright, so they have a man in B. Grimlock gets his kill on the site. That would have been huge if he didn't get that kill, because 2 of us are extremely low. And no CT smoke means we get the frag. Getting a point doesn't get that kill, that could be huge. Now we're up 3-3. I think this is going to be a save from Gale. We're going to go into another buy round. And again, they go really fast mid here, and this is my first time watching it, but like I had a failure to trade up mid. I think one round we play. I try to get close up as close up as possible. Our original strategy was to get 2 people close up, so the one guy who's close up doesn't get completely fucked like I am here. I throw a flash in a main, or in a mid main and push through because I know that I'm going to be blind and they're going to see me in the smoke and then shoot me. And I figure someone's going to push A main, but I get killed and traded out. And because I think we lost someone more at mid, Kev got killed by the vent guy, and then Poyo gets killed. We lose mid control. We lose the man advantage that we never really had. We had 4v4 for a second, and now we got a player per site. Now all they have to do right now is find out where the op is and avoid it. But you know, a failure to keep mid with 3 people is just a matter of like not being able to shoot well, or either that or not having the nades to properly get a multi-kill. Grim's kind of fucked on the site, and this is a safe situation from Zach. Not much they can do. And again, we knew mid was going to come over and over again, but Gale have like a lot of good aim on their team, so it's natural that they would want to go mid. Even versus 3 players, they still have a pretty good chance. Like, ideally, they come out 3v3, and if you're on T side, you come out 3v3. It's not that bad. It's actually really good. You have the CT split up 1-1-1, and if 3 of you go into a site, you're only going up against 1 person. Poyo gets killed crossing. I'm out in the middle of the open, and we never managed to get someone vent. So we had what we had last round, except now we only had 2 people, and we couldn't get a kill. So that round is just gone. We're starting to lose traction, and because we lose 2 rifles in a row, we have to save. And if we actually go into the next round and decide to buy, we won't even have that much money. So our loss bonus starts 1,400, 1,900, and then it goes to 2,400. So considering what we have left over, we still don't have that great of a buy. Like, you do armor rifle, someone's got to get nades, and if we don't do that, then we have to try to get another push going on like we did on that previous round. Alright, let me see here. So if we skip this one here, we have enough money to buy. The thing is that the advantages that we're losing out on is we don't have an op. We don't have a lot of grenades. We do have some. It's actually not too bad. I mean, we don't have head armor, but they have AKs and an op. So because we know that they won so many rounds in a row, we can expect the op to be there. And I'm out at sandbags, and this is a really annoying round. So we talked about. Let me see. So Grim spent all his money and he only had 1 flash, and I got really mad here because I called for us to do 3 mid again, and for Kev to counter boost vent instead of him going out mid, because that wasn't working out well. And then Grim, you know, bought a flash, so he doesn't have a smoke for the cross to vent, even though they don't go B at the beginning of the round. I think we talked about. And so we don't get Kevin vent as the bottom line. And so now I'm stranded at sandbags. Completely useless. And now I'm about to go down for free because they're going to Molotov me out. And this is why I'm calling for the counter boost. But they come in too late. I get mollied out. And then fucked crossing. Poyo dies on highway again, and we lose mid for no reason. You know, there's not much else to say about that. I mean, I think in the early rounds we like failed to trade up properly, and then like I don't know, not being able to stay coordinated is like really frustrating. It's funny, like I saw the exact same thing happen to Rix earlier, but like Sean Gears got so mad because like you're just, I don't know, it's like you call someone a boost fence, they have to do that. So either someone in the site has to go like CZ, armor, and nades, or you find a way to just get like a single smoke so you can cross, because your goal that round is to boost fence. Otherwise, you know your teammates are fucked at mid. All right, like otherwise, I'll have to do something completely different. So if you can't, you know, do something, then it has to be called that you can't do it, so that whoever you're trying to support in that situation, like us at mid, when we're expecting help from our teammate event, we can do something different, like not play mid there. And even Poyo getting smoked out in Z, it's like it's just such a waste to have. Like there's just no point in even, we could have just stayed alive, and yeah, it would have been a much harder round. So we could have played sites, and you know the value of mid control is very high as a terrorist, because if you can get out here, if you can trade effectively, then you have like, you can split a site anytime you want. CTs don't know where you're going, and you can get and you can just wait there and see if like CTs do something stupid like try to retake mid. You have a lot of options. You have all the info, fast rotations, and ideally like, you know, a 3v3 as opposed to a 5v5. 5v5 you hit a site. CTs have rotational advantage because people can play 2 mid, 1 A, and have 2 to A immediately for mid. So that's a huge advantage for CTs holding mid. And because we couldn't hold it, we just kept getting run over. I think we go out and do something similar here. This time Poyo asked the op. I said, yeah, that's fine, but they're gonna, you know, they smoke out Z every single time, but we're just gonna play mid more passively, counter boost vents, you know, for real this time. And now we basically just have a really passive 2-1-2 setup, but because we have a couple of ops, that's what makes this possible. So because we have a couple of ops, if they execute on a site, then even if they take mid control, we can opt them coming up highway with Zach. And there's, you know, Kev and Grim to get kills, Kev from the vent, and basically they can just fall off now, which is really nice. And since, you know, we're 5v3, I think we actually, this might be the round when we lose that we shouldn't have lost. Yeah, so Poyo should have like opt from CT, just super passive. There's, you know, he's not the only reason we lose this round if this is the round, but 5v3, all you have to do is literally play as far back as possible, hold an angle, and you win. Now they're going to a site with Grim. He's by himself, and he gets opt from B main, and all the rotations are coming out too early, so it's like way too obvious. So like, if you get the kills early in the site, or someone is really close to rotate, they might, you know, Grim was just trying to throw a nade, Kev was just trying to throw a nade, but I don't know, there isn't much to say. Sync was just looking at the right place at the right time, and that's the value of mid control right there. So they get the kill in Z to make it 4v3, and then we have Kev who has to pick up Z from B, doesn't get to play with Grim, and then Grim is in the site solo and doesn't even go 1-for-1 because he gets opt, which is pretty much the worst case situation. But let's say he still got a kill. Well, if he went 1-for-1, he dies. Then basically we're relying on him to get like some super sick, like unrealistic round where he gets a multi-kill versus players who have an off and a split with mid control. So, you know, it's, you know, and then that's a round that we could have turned around and had way more money on this one, though we did save the 2 ops. We would have had a 5th round and potential for a 6th, which I guess we still have potential for. Or we had a 5th round with potential for 7. We would have had potential for 7 on CT side, which would have still been bad, but a lot better. Okay, now Kev gets caught pushing up mid. And I don't know why he's out there by himself, but that shouldn't have happened either. Like these are kills that just shouldn't come out. And what was interesting was we were having such a good time on our scrims and like starting to win all of our scrims. And when we were winning all of our matches, we weren't winning any of our scrims. We were losing every single one. That was a nice shot. And we lose our scrims, we do demo reviews, talk about them, and then we fix the problems, we move on and win. In this but right before this match we won like scrims versus like 2P teams, had easily beat all the main teams that we played, and I guess we're a little bit too confident about our setups, and we're really confused about what we should do at mid. And because we lost mid control, we lost all these rounds. So you could say you have 5 players, give up mid completely, but it just doesn't make any sense. If you know they're coming mid and you have 3 there, you have tons of utility. I think actually I wanted to make sure that this round they just had a bad Z smoke. Like the stuff they were doing wasn't even that set. I mean, they're rolling, right? They're winning rounds constantly, so they can kind of throw caution to the wind at some point, and just for the sake of trying to change up their style and put rounds together. Here, like the one round that they don't actually go mid, or that they just try to go late, it just doesn't work. Like they don't even win the round. And we were so solid outside of mid control that it kind of sucks that we couldn't have won a couple of those really close rounds, especially like that 3v5. And then it was I think if I was more experienced, and I could learn maps faster, I would know exactly how to fix mistakes without having to scrim early. Like I could just identify them a lot earlier. I think like on the eco round I wouldn't have died. I wouldn't have died in A because I knew that, or I just know that from watching demos that you have to trust yourself to be able to retake A site on cash versus saving players. Like it happens too often. People give up the site all the time and they just use their nades. You never get to use your nades if you sit on the site and they swarm you. So people play a truck and throw a molly, or they go highway and nade the site, try to kill the planner, and really just dump all their utility to try to seal everything up. But instead, we had a situation where 2 of us went down on the site for free. We had 1 lost at B, so even though we had the man disadvantage, it didn't really matter. Like they came to us, even though they killed 1 at B. So that was pretty much my fault. And that's something that I guess it's kind of my failure as an IGL because I don't have that experience. But it is, I get, it's equally important that we learn from it, but at the same time it just blows because a lot of that half could have been rounds that we won, and instead we're going into T-side with only 6 rounds. A couple of things to note about this game were, one, we lost 6 clutch rounds, so there were 6 1v1s, I think, or 3 1v1s and 3 1v2s. One of the 1v1s was on the pistol round, I think this pistol round specifically. We've used this A setup a few times, or this A hit a few times. Ooh, here we get the bomb down, and Poyo could have been way more patient there. Here we get the bomb down. I think he should just be basically lurking in that situation. But maybe he thought there's someone up highway and needed to help his teammate, but there's still 2 people in Z, so I think we had the man advantage like that. We just never really slow it down. I fucked up on this round too. I left Grim peeked A main and tried to get a kill when he should be playing clutch because the bomb is planted for him, and so all right. So everyone fucked up that round, I think, except for Zach and Kev. Poyo died at mid when all he had to do is literally kill the last guy coming up highway. Since we have 3 people on the site, if we can't hold, it's our fucking fault. Like, there's no way to defuse while we're all 3 up, so he should have taken one more time. Grim peeks A main and dies when the bomb is planted for him. He should be literally baiting the fuck out of us and playing clutch in 1v1. Kev was the only person on, was delaying and peeking and getting kills, but he was the person that needed to be more expendable there instead of Grim, who just needed to stay alive. They didn't have any utility for that retake, and I got 1 kill on the site, and I think I peeked out to fork, whiffed a couple shots, and died. So maybe if I just sat on the site longer, I could have delayed or helped out in a better way, but that's a retake we shouldn't have lost, and it's not because specifically because we missed shots. They're very obviously because we had shit positions and we're making bad decisions. It's funny because like most of the stuff that we're seeing is like stuff we already knew. Now, one thing was I heard that Golly was pretty prepared to play against us, but after, and it does start with this round right here. So and then we had low buy, AKs, so we decided to go mid, which is something we like to do. I think I went right. Oh, Grim actually went right through the molly, which was good. And he did manage to stay alive as well, so that's really nice. We know someone's at sandbag. We can also boost late, and because we didn't actually get out mid fast enough, they decided to push B and A and flank us. I think we actually catch... Okay, did we win this round? Oh my god, this comes down to a 1v1. Grim gets a sick kill right there, and this is super unfortunate. So it looks like B just like left his teammate and went to mid, and then Grim came up highway and died when I think he thought that the guy was in CT but that he could have gone truck, so he made the decision to like run up highway. But that's another situation where I think he could have played a little bit just way more baity and way more passive, and like Poyo's in a 1v1 and B wins the round because he got that first kill for free. When analyzing demo, you never want to look at like, oh, did this guy took a duel and lost it? You want to look at why did the round come down to a 1v1 in the first place? Because you want to talk about things that you can control. Not everyone's going to have a good day. Is not going to have a good aim day every day. But there's a lot of stuff that's... because, you can find aimers all over the place. But if we look at this demo, we'll see that this team had better aim than us, but they also were able to shoot us in the back quite often on T side. And right after they did that double push, the ironic part is that I heard they were prepared to play us, but at the same time, I was like, all right, they're going to push a lot as soon as they did that. And I went back to pick up, in the following rounds, I went to pick up our flanks. We're supposed to watch Squeaky. I think we watched Squeaky with an op here, or B. We hold it for so long, we go back, and they just push after we left. So I think our problem here was not making enough presence before we left. I don't know, but it felt like we just got fucked by timing. Like, that was a feeling. Unless they knew that we left, then I knew that they were opping it because they didn't smoke it, so that was one thing. I think I just called that immediately, and we just held back and waited for the pushes. And we have Kev controlling Squeaky. I think Poyo should have been with him on this round. I think I said basically anti-eco, which means Kev and Poyo hold down Squeaky. And I said, all right, let's fall back and do mid. All right, so I leave mid, and I'm waiting. Oh my god, I'm waiting for my teammates to boost, and they're taking so long to boost. I was kind of upset about this, I won't lie. I get walk pushed all the way to spawn from B, and I get killed because I was waiting to throw a Z smoke, and they took forever to get on the boost. So we did hold the flank. We had Poyo, myself there until about a minute, or minute 5 or something, and they walk push right after. And I think what I could have done differently is to let them know that we were there, because that might have decentivized them from just trying to push it or walk push it slowly or whatever it was. But on top of that, taking forever to boost made that round really, really annoying. And suddenly we went from 10-5 to 1v1 on the pistol, having to eat the next 2 rounds and then winning, or and then losing a bye round, which is how you get 5 in a row. And suddenly it's 14-6. So you put the game in perspective. You see, like, of this half, they won a single rifle round. We're gonna go into a second one here. There's basically the last chance for a comeback. Zach has a fucking scout, and I'm just deady holding flanks. I know he's opping again, and I throw my B main cross smoke so that I can at least get a reaction out of them to see if I know what they're trying to do. And we get killed trying to take mid, even though we were supposed to be watching Squeaky. So I don't know. I don't even know how that happens. How, like, an op and Squeaky gets 2 kills. I mean, at least it gets traded, but here's where we decide to go mid, since it seems like most teams will give this up late, and we walk out. But because they're 4v3, and we still haven't technically found the op, he's obviously roamed already, we have to consider our options. But I don't know. I think the call was just to go B straight up, and I don't remember if Seb has a really good round here, but we don't have the. Oh my God, Poyo had a CT smoke and a molly, and all right, he was asking where he got this smoke from, and I guess he didn't know for so long. So I thought he just picked it up while he's in checker. Let's see. Yeah, he didn't have a nade, so he picked it up along the way. So, that kind of sucks, but let's see here. He already picked it up at mid somewhere, so he didn't even realize it. Walked right over it, and it sucks. Like, we could have used this to cross. That op would have not got a kill. We could have swarmed the site and traded out really easily, but he didn't know he had a smoke. So that's a round, and pretty much that's it. Like, it's nice to know that we can see exactly what went wrong on each time, whether it be unfortunate. Like, I don't particularly, I mean, I don't know. Some people might say, like, you gotta know you have nades or whatever, but if you run over a nade, you might not notice in the midst of taking mid. So I'm not gonna say, like, that's the only reason we lost that round. Like, the fact that we got raped at mid in the first place, maybe something we can work on, but they're better at mids on CT side and on T side versus us. So that kind of blows. It's a pretty emo match, not getting any traction on the rounds, losing opening pick most of the time, pretty much every single round, losing 6 clutch rounds, losing getting ecoed on a pistol and then losing the second pistol in a 1v1, and not really having a chance to even play T side apart from the opportunities that they took on their flanks. So that was our match versus Kali Deluxe. I decided it would be a good idea to, instead of uploading matches that we lose, to, like, do a demo review of those matches. Those are typically the matches, scrims and matches that we review anyway, and just upload straight up the matches that we win. So this is some content that I'm doing right before I leave for the MLG qualifier, and I hope that was helpful and informative for you. I have some closing thoughts on how we could have played differently, and those would be, on T side, I think in general, to feel out a team, if we don't have a lot of good information on what they're going to do, is to work at default a lot longer in the opening T rounds. Just, I don't know, drill fundamentals into people. Like, winning that pistol round would have been huge, for example, and just like a couple of rounds that were like having a little bit more patience would have gone such a long way. B coming out of Z, and it's like, Grim goes up highway because he wants to help his teammate get the bomb down, make sure that, like, he's covering truck where he thinks that B's going, but we know that B isn't on A, so ultimately he could try to be a little more patient. And I think the one thing that our team lacks is a little bit of our team. One thing our team lacks is like selfishness. Like no one on the team wants to be a lurker, so we have a lack of people who want to play slow. Um, like I actually want to be a lurker, but I'm afraid of lurking and streaming, and also calling. I don't even know if that works really well, but I think it's, yeah, from what I've heard from people or IGLs, it's better to call where the action is and be where the action is. So it's nice to call and lurk in the sense that like I would have the reason I would want to do it is because um, I would have like a lot of time where I could just like sit, hold angles, be safe, and just like look at the mini map and consider what to do. But ironically, it's more effective to know what you want to do if you're in the action. So that's kind of something that we have to think about. And so I guess a little bit more patience and drilling fundamentals, and then communication. Like it's like you you know that round that we had to counter boost fence, like we had to do that, and otherwise if we don't do that, then we don't play mid the same way, and then we don't lose that round, or the round goes completely differently, or they don't keep 5 alive when we do some economic damage. The mistakes add up, and ultimately the higher level you get, the games come down to who makes less mistakes. It doesn't come down to who makes insane plays. It comes down to who doesn't mess things up or do things that aren't according to the plan. That's how an IGL see the game, at least how I see it from my perspective. I could say that like I could have got a couple more trades at mid, but I also got completely fucked a few times. You know, um, getting flanked, and I also fucked myself. I put myself in a bad position when they ecoed A. Knowing that, definitely want to play retake on A in the future, or maybe do something a little bit more aggressive to get information. But yeah, pretty emo game. So I guess that's all I have to say, and I hope that was helpful. So I'll see you guys in 5 days.